Hello fellow photographers. Today we're going to be building a computer. Okay, so before you switch this video off thinking, what does building a computer have to do with photography? Well, in this day and age when it comes to photography, you're spending more time editing your photos on your computer than you are taking a picture in the field. Like we talked about in the previous videos, for every hour you spend taking a photo, you're going to spend 2 or 3 hours editing those photos. So a good computer is going to speed up that process a whole lot. What you're probably thinking is, well, why build one? Why not just go to the store and buy one? Well, the reason for that is a lot of times when computers are pre-built, you're looking at one aspect that you're like, okay, I want this, and then everything else just kind of falls shy. So what I've decided to do is I want my computer to be able to have the power to do what I want it to do. I want to be able to customize it over time. Right now, this build is going to cost me a little over $3,000. And when it comes time to upgrade it, I don't want to have to spend another $3,000 to upgrade it. If the video card goes out, I want to just buy a new video card. If the processor is getting too old and I need to update that, I just want to have to buy a new processor or motherboard. Whatever it is, I want to be able to upgrade small bits of it as I go. So the first thing to look at when you're going to build a new computer is what kind of processor do you want to go with? So I have chosen the Intel i9 12th generation. Now, the reason I chose this over AMD, both of them are performing pretty equally right now. Long term, Intel's been around forever. AMD is the new kid on the block. Now, for the past couple years, they've kind of knocked Intel off their high horse and brought them down a level, being better than them in almost everything. So with this new generation of the i9, Intel kind of takes its spot back, at least as of right now. This is middle 2022. So the end of the year, AMD might have introduced something that'll kind of retake those reins. But as of right now, with the exception of just building a pure gaming computer, Intel's got AMD beat. So that is why I chose this as my processor. Now with that processor, you need to have a motherboard to put it on. Now I chose this motherboard because one, it accepts the Intel i9 12th generation processor, but this motherboard's also got a 10 gigabyte LAN connection built right into the motherboard. Now that's not going to help me a whole lot with internet speeds, but when it's connecting to my server, I can plug that directly through a couple 10 gigabyte switches and I will have the fastest possible way to move stuff on and off of my server as I want. So that is something that I definitely want to look into. Now, this current motherboard also accepts a newer type of memory. Right now, that's a memory that AMD is not accepting with any of their processors. So instead of using DDR4 memory, I'm going to be using DDR5. Now, I can't show you that just yet because it hasn't come in the mail yet. So you'll see that probably a little later on in this video. But this is a newer motherboard, so hopefully it'll be able to last me for a while. And it's using newer memory that's just now really hitting the mainstream. So hopefully this will give me a fast build. This particular version of this Asus ProArt Z690 Creator also comes with 3 months of Adobe Creative Cloud. So hopefully with the expensive motherboard, I'll be able to take off like $150 from my monthly fees paying for Photoshop, Premiere, and so on and so forth. So hopefully I can utilize that as a little bit of a rebate. Now, for internal storage and for running my operating system, I've got this Samsung 2TB solid-state hard drive. This should hopefully give me some speeds when it comes to running the programs. Now, to run all of this, as you can see, I'm just now still getting all of this stuff in the mail through Amazon. So this box I haven't even opened yet, like most of the others. But this here is the power supply. Now, I chose this one because it's got a little bit more power output than most of your standard power supplies. Also, I didn't have one lying around that I thought would last long enough to implement it in my new computer. So I've got this one. And in all honesty, it comes with this little carrying case or something. I'm assuming it's wires, but let's see what's in here. It comes with all the different wires, and actually I do like how some of these are already braided together nicely. Now you might be asking, what kind of case am I going to be putting all this in? Well, the case literally just came in the mail, so let's open it up and take a look to see what it looks like. Alright, so this is the case I'm going to be using. It's got a lot of air vents in the top, and then a couple extra fans in the front. This thing pops right off, and you can see there's one fan built in, and it looks like I can put 2 more fans in it. I was under the impression I had 3 fans coming with it. I guess it does not. Alright, so there's a bunch of cables already in here. Looks like that's to power the fans. I do like the little compartments here where they have to kind of hide the wires away. I'm not exactly sure. Hey, you stay out of there. What this is, this looks to be just a bunch of little screws and Velcro strips for organizing and putting everything in there. So that's good to have. This here looks like it is where I'm going to install my hard drive at. So let's slide that back in. And there is one fan in here. I'm sorry, I lied. There's 2 fans in here. One in the front, one in the back. I would probably like to utilize a couple more fans in the front, so I might have to look into buying those. Like I said, I was under the impression that it came with them, but alas, it did not. I also bought this XQD SD card reader. Now, the reason I bought this is my previous computer had an SD card built in, but I still had to pull the XQD card reader from my laptop bag or wherever and move it wherever I needed it to be. So this one I should be able to leave plugged in all the time and just utilize the SD XQD, and there's also USB 3.0 here. Mainly going to be utilizing it for the XQD and the SD card. Okay, so because the case didn't come with as many fans as I thought, I went ahead and I bought 3 RGB fans for the front of the case. These will allow more cool air in. They also have the ability for me to make it a color, so just something that'll kind of look cool. I had also forgot to buy a fan to cool the CPU. This here is an RGB fan, and this one will plug directly into the motherboard. Alright, so the memory has just come in the mail, so let's go ahead and open it up and see what we've got here. Alright, so here we have it. Kingston DDR5 memory. Now that this is in the mail, let's go ahead and start building the computer. While I was waiting for my video card to come in, I went ahead and installed Windows on my PC. I went ahead and installed Windows Pro for Workstation. I probably don't need that version. I could have probably just gone with Windows Pro, but I figured why not? Hopefully it'll give me a little bit better connectivity between my server and my computer. So my video card just came in. This here is a Zotac Gaming GeForce RTX 3090. It is way overpriced in my opinion for a video card, but everything is right now. So let's go ahead and get it installed and get this computer finished. Alright, so we have the video card now fully installed. Now it's time to test it. See how it works. Alright, so I see lights on it. That's a good sign. I'm not seeing video, however, coming through the TV yet. Okay, so it did take a minute to boot up, but looks like it finally did. That's probably a similar issue that I had with the RAM when I installed it. Something that I didn't see in the research I'd done before I bought the RAM, but this newer RAM, the DDR5, it takes a lot longer for the initial startup. So I'm hoping that's the case with the video card, just that initial startup. It took it just a little bit longer, but Now that's up, the following reboot should come up without any hesitation. That's what I'm hoping for. So it looks like as of now, this computer build is done. Let's put the final screen on it and then take it upstairs and install it in its permanent home. Oh, I do still have to install the drivers. I'm going to do that before I take it upstairs. Okay, so I did get those drivers installed. Now, as you can see, I've changed clothes and stuff. It's been a couple months since I said I was going upstairs to install the drivers. Did not take me that long. I just got busy with other stuff, so I've been a little behind. But this is my setup. I've got my main monitor here in landscape mode. I've got a monitor over here in portrait mode. I've got my bamboo tablet that I love to use. My computer is set up right here, glowing lights and fans and everything. And for the past couple months, it has been running great. I hope you enjoyed the process of building a high-end photo editing computer from scratch. You really don't need to go the route that I went on a lot of stuff. Couple generations older stuff would work just fine for Photoshop and most stuff. I'm just planning for the future, and I know I'm going to be doing this for quite a while. In all honesty, you could probably go to Best Buy and buy one of their computers and it'd work just fine for Photoshop. I just wanted something that I know would work, stand the test of time. But anyways, I hope this was informative. I hope you learned something, and I will see you next week.